This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports. Real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
Von Allen Sports.
Hey there, how you doing? Coach here outside of beautiful Arrowhead Stadium, home of the Kansas City Chiefs. You're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. So subscribe now and join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go, baby.
Von Allen Sports.
That was outstanding on so many levels. Look at that torque.
What's up, what's up? I'm coming.
What's up, what's up? Check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Remote. Ah! There we go. Just trying to do it the cool way, but never works out like that. It's not like the movies. America! Fuck yeah! What's up, guys? What's up, what's up? Okay. Go, go, squeeze. You can guess what color this thing is, right? Okay. So, let's see here. When you have cats, it's hard to wear black, let me tell you. So, how you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Let's see. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's here. Okay. First one was John. What's up, John? Elf Courage. Sierra. Sydney. Happy New Year to you, Elf. Thank you. Phil, what's up? Minuteman. When would I say that Buffalo Bills started to improve as an organization? Personally, I would say the improvements began sometime around 2014. I'd say it started when the Pegulas bought the team, because the previous owners just didn't care, you know. So I would say, like, you know, they were trying to move the team to Canada and all this crap, and it was just like they were just trying to sell it. So I'd say probably then. I'm just checking something here. Okay. Okay, so these 49ers uniforms are awesome. I love the 19th century font of the letters. It's very obviously 1849. It's very very appropriate. I like the font of the 49ers on the front. Those are very cool. They should wear those more often. I don't think I've ever seen them before. Are these new? I'll show you what this is. I'm sitting here doing free sponsorships. See? It's a green go-go squeeze apple juice. Or apple sauce, sorry. These things are really good. You should try them. No, I'm not getting paid. I just like it. Okay. I think Minutemen meant this new incarnation, this new version of the Bills. I think that's what he meant. Because for like 20 years they were garbage, So there's like after the 4 Super Bowl Bills group all kind of left, and after that was over, they just went just complete oblivion, right? Sometimes they'd have a season where they were kind of okay or whatever, but it's but really it was pretty bad for a while. So hell yeah. What's up? What's up? And see, I was telling Nefertiti about the capturing Maduro last night. It's like, see, that's the point right there. We could have done that in Iraq back 20 years ago. We could have done that then. We could have gone in and got them and left. We didn't have to stay forever. We could have gotten all these people, just like with the Bay of Pigs, same thing. Military-industrial complex. They undermined JFK. That's what they wanted to do, is undermine him. And instead of going in there and getting Castro, they wanted a prolonged conflict, just like Vietnam. We could have won Vietnam in 2 weeks if we were there to actually achieve something. The goal was never to win. It was never victory. When the goal is victory and that's all you care about, and there's no other ulterior motives to prolong the issue, it gets done very quickly. And that's just how it works. So that's how it's done. It's like the thing in Iran. Everyone says, oh, we're going to be in Iran for years now. No, we went in, we disarmed we deleted their nuclear capability, and we were gone. That happened in one day. This happened in one day. We didn't kill any civilians. None of our people got hurt, and it was over. That was it. But guess what? That one day op doesn't make money for politicians. So senators can't get paid. Congressmen get paid by the corruption from their states, from inside, the money from the inside. Especially a lot of it was from money that from insider trading. So knowing what bills are going to pass and what things are coming, and inside info about whether or not a company is going to get approved for something, things like that. So that's how they make their money, through that kind of corruption. Senators make their money through wars. So that's their big moneymaker, is wars. And the senators, they don't like this kind of thing. So they're going to be very mad about this because they actually just got the job done. You can't launder money if there's no prolonged war, if there's no prolonged occupation. There's no money to launder, because that money has to be sent to that to recipients over in that country, and then the money gets lost. Lost. Just like Ukraine, for example. So, but yeah. So this is what our military looks like when it's ran by Tom Brady and instead of bumbling idiots. So there you go. Our soldiers are awesome. They're the best in the world. And but there's a chain of command, and if the top of the chain of command is a moron and doesn't want to win and is corrupt, then you're not going to be able to get anything done. So they killed JFK, and then Vietnam becomes a 2-decade fiasco. Never should have been. Never was supposed to be. So it's just how it is. So that's how they do it, man. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, but even some power corrupts. It's just human nature. So, all right, there we go. So we got a good game. I was worried about week 18 coming up. Like there was nothing to talk about, or there was nothing to watch, but this has got good implications here. So this is the home field advantage. This is number 1 seed, and obviously the division goes along with that, but division, who gives a crap when the number 1 seed is what we're focused on here. So what's up, Brian? Ace, what's up? How you guys doing? Let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys like me having trouble taking the Seahawks seriously? I just look at them and I think I look at their roster, I look at their playing, I look at I got this Denver of the NFC vibe, right? Like I see that they're playing well. I respect that. But for some reason, I'm just not sold on them. And I think it maybe it's Sam Darnold that's causing that. It's possible, you know. But I had trouble taking teams seriously when their quarterbacks are questionable. Like I can see them playing well. Like I can literally see it. But for some reason, I just don't feel like they're for real. And it's weird. It's so weird. It's just, dang, you know? I just don't trust it. Yeah, Blind Assassin. It's Darnold. I think it's Darnold. And Bo Nix is why I don't take Denver seriously. I don't have anything against the Seahawks other than the fact that they're from Seattle. So, you know, that's bad. But the team itself, I have no reason to say these things, like to be negative about them. I simply just don't think about them, to be quite honest with you. Ever since the disbanding of the Legion of Boom, to me, they've been pretty irrelevant because Russell was playing okay for a while, and then he started to suck for some reason, and then I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, I don't take Houston seriously either. Minuteman. I think Houston's defense is elite, but or not elite, legit. Sorry, I reserve the word elite for that. Actually means something when I say it, so I don't mean that. But I just don't trust the quarterbacks or the quarterback or the quarterbacks of either teams. Just there's something there that's not quite right. The problem is on the teams that I trust the quarterbacks, I don't trust the rest of the team. I don't trust the coaching. Like there's always, I have a problem with every team. Like every team has something wrong with them or something that I'm just not sold on, something that I have an issue with. Of course, you guys know that I picked the 49ers to come out of the NFC. I said they would be the number 1 seed. And I said that they would be in the Super Bowl again. Well, the problem is to be number 1 seed, they're going to need to win this game. Obviously, and getting sacked like that is not the answer. But the game just started, so we're cool. But my reservations for them is that, is any of their offensive players going to survive to the Super Bowl? Remember when Purdy was hurt in the NFC Championship game? And it just was completely pointless at that. What was that? The Eagles just got a free trip to the Super Bowl after that, right? We saw Purdy play in a Super Bowl against the Chiefs, and if he just completed some passes like a normal quarterback should, they win that Super Bowl. Then if they always have injuries of some sort, so are they going to go through the playoffs without McCaffrey? Is he going to get a boo-boo? Is Kittle going to get a boo-boo? We just don't know. If the 49ers had an elite quarterback, if they had Tom Brady, if they had Drake May or somebody like that, and they actually had a good training regimen where they didn't get hurt all the time, I know that's a lot of ifs, they would be unstoppable. It would be ridiculous how good they are. Even with our own team, with the Patriots, I have reservations about the defense. They're spotty, and I don't like it. I don't. What are y'all doing? You got the zoomies? Ramses and Octavia have the zoomies. So they're just going after each other. Yeah, that's the thing, Elf. So the Patriots are doing what they're doing right now in a year that it was supposed to be a warm-up year, like an acclimation year. New coach coming in, got rid of a lot of players from last year, brought in new guys, changed the quarterback's approach. Like all these things have been altered. So it was like a new thing. It was like, okay, adjustment period. We're never supposed to be this good. Next year was the goal, was the aim with the salary cap money coming in, and then we can start, bolstering the defense and putting more money in the defense. And we're going to need another target for Drake. And that was just supposed to be how it goes. And I think I was fine with that, and I was okay with that. I mentally did not think that we were going to have a good year. I was just like, okay, well, here we are. We're going to cover it. Let's see who can beat the Chiefs, basically. So this season was supposed to be, honestly, about hate watching, essentially. It was supposed to be, rage watching, whatever you want to call it. Then all of a sudden, the Patriots are like winning games. It's crazy. Of course, everyone picked them to suck this year, but now they're using the strength of schedule against them, but they didn't mention that at the beginning of the season, which is interesting. But the fact that we've done so well like this, and we're going to get more next year, we might have a good future on our hands. Again, I'm not popping the champagne yet. That's not something I do, but That was a good run. Like I told you guys before, I wasn't sold on Tom Brady until the last drive of the Super Bowl when he took the ball down instead of Adam Vinatieri. And that's when I realized, okay, he's the guy now. Drew's got to go. Up until that point, I would not give Tom Brady, okay, he's the guy now, and Drew Bledsoe needs to leave. Like, I just wasn't convinced. Because I needed to be sure. And I didn't want to be like, oh, this is it, and I feel that way right now. Drake is playing great. I think there's something there. But we've also seen these young guys come out firing, and then it all falls apart. So it's like, I didn't like how they were, not Drake personally, but how the other team was feeling themselves a few weeks ago against Buffalo, the way they were acting. So hopefully they've corrected that. I think they corrected it because we saw that with the Jets. When they got up 21-28, nothing, or whatever it was on the Jets, they kept pushing. They kept throwing. They kept going after him. They kept going harder and harder and harder. And I think that was a direct result of letting the Bills come back and win. If I'm correct, then that means this was corrected, and the thing that we feared from that game may not rear its ugly head in the playoffs. And that's what I'm hoping for and what I'm expecting at this point, honestly, because I think that's what happened. Where the hell is Israel? Guys, anybody, I just want to tell you this, if you guys are online and you're dealing with people. Strength of schedule is the dumbest argument. It just, I can show you the Patriots dynasty, the two dynasties, or if you want to call the whole 20 years one dynasty, whatever. But I can show you over that 20-year span how the strength of schedule made no difference. It was you were either good or you weren't. You either won games or you didn't. That was it. Oh, no problem, Israel. I'm not bugging you or anything. I was just curious. But yeah, it's a stupid argument. Over the 20-year period for the Patriots, they've had hard schedules and they've had easy schedules. The outcome was the same. It was, and nothing made any sense. Like, there was no, if you were an analyst or a scientist and you were looking at data and you were trying to find some kind of evidence that something stuck out there, you wouldn't find it, because you'd see some years the Patriots would have an easy schedule and then maybe go 10-6, or have some kind of weird off year or something, and then they would have a hard schedule and then they would blow everyone out and just kill people, and it just didn't seem to be any. And then they would drop games against like lousy teams that don't have very good records and aren't just playing sloppy football. They would lose to a team like that, but then they would go and they would destroy some, elite talented team. It's the NFL, guys. It's the NFL. This is just how it works. This is a direct result of the salary cap. This was what the salary cap was for. The salary cap was designed to remove dynasties. It was basically their thinking was if there was only so much money that each team could spend, then each team, no matter what city they're from, could, basically compete. If you've got every team competing, that's more fans, more revenue, and so on, right? More excitement, more games that are. Why do we always have one score games? Why do we always have even games? Well, we didn't used to, guys. All these people who were conspiracy theorists and saying, oh, well, how come the modern game is always close, and how come these games are always close and everything? Yeah, that was by design, not by script writing, but by design. When I was a kid, games were blowouts all the time. It was like boring, not boring in general. I mean, when there was a blowout, it was boring. Salary cap comes and you've got this now, and even it gets more and more like that, because even small market teams now can spend big money. What was that play all about? Yeah, I thought he stepped out. Whoa, there it is. He got pretty far, but not as far. They both suck. They both suck because they don't tell you everything. Of course, passer rating's a lot older. The Von Allen system is the best. Yeah, 2007 was the fourth hardest schedule, and they went 16-0. I mean, it's just, come on. This is interesting. This game, it's strange. I thought Seattle would come out firing. I mean, San Francisco would come out firing. They seem to be a bit sluggish and not aware that they are in an important game at the moment. What's up? What's up, Tyree? Yeah. But okay, we got 2nd and 10, Seattle. Inside the San Francisco 30. Good stop. Good stop. Well read. Now, see, Tom Brady talks about this. He said that the quarterback's job is to understand what if the defense knows what you're doing, and then you check into a different play. So he said, if you see a good run, the quarterback figured out that was the correct play for that defense. Sam Darnold did not identify the defense there, and he went ahead and ran the run play anyway. Now, more than likely, Sam Darnold is listening to a coach and doesn't have the autonomy to do his own thing. So, great stop by San Francisco right there. 4th down. So, I'm going to assume they're going to make this field goal. I'm just going to put in the 3 there. But on that 2nd and 10, that stopped run, Brady would have checked out of that and switched to a quick slant and just exploited them coming in there. So probably would have gotten 10, 15 yards off of it. Oh, crap, he missed it. Hey, I jinxed him. Good job, Aaron. All right. I got to do that more often, teams I don't like. Yeah. So, the strength of schedule, the problem I'm having with it, and the reason I'm talking about it so much is because this is all the talk on X right now. Okay. This is all anyone's talking about is strength of schedule. They're trying to discredit Drake May, and they're trying to discredit the Patriots as a team. And the strength of schedule is just a measurement of kind of understanding it's one piece of a puzzle. It is not the whole thing. It is not something that you can just say, this is this says everything here. It just doesn't work like that. Also, strength of schedule is utterly worthless beyond 4 weeks. So if you go beyond that, it doesn't even matter. So right now, if you want to look at strength of schedule, you would have to look at the last 4 weeks. And again, like I said before, not 4 games, 4 weeks. So even if someone had a bye, that extra week matters. It means something. So 4 weeks, tops. 4 weeks. Not 3, not 5, 4. 4 weeks is all a team is. Okay? You are not what you were in September. You're not what you were in October. And that you're not what you were in November now. It's January 3rd. So you are only as good as you have been since December 3rd. That's you. That's who you are. How many games have you won? How many have you lost? How well have you played? How sloppy have you played? If you've been playing sloppy, you're probably going to go into the playoffs sloppy. If you've been playing well, on the come up, you're probably going to play well. That's how it is. But it's 4 weeks. Why 4 weeks? Well, we have to pick a time, don't we? There's a certain number there. I think 4 weeks is enough time for any injuries to heal. I'm talking about bad ones that you're out for the season, but I'm talking the week to week issues that you have to play with and things like that. There are all kinds of changeovers when you play up against a team. So maybe their coach was fired. Maybe they got reinvigorated, or maybe they're not as good as they were in September. Everything is different now. So talking junk to the Patriots about somebody they played in September or October is completely ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything. Neither does the team that you think has the hardest schedule and is the best team. Well, what have they been doing for the last 4 weeks? Because they ain't getting credit for the ones that the wins or losses before that. So that's the first flaw in strength of schedule, is that it needs to be narrowed down. Another flaw in the strength of schedule is that they also use it at the beginning of a season based off the prior year, which that's got to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's even dumber than the other thing. So using last year as a gauge for how hard your schedule is extremely odd. It's just, I'm not saying that who you play based off a record there isn't some relevancy there on a small level, but it's not relevant in the big picture as a standalone stat. It just isn't. There's just not enough there for it to be its own thing. You guys have known I've been saying this for years. Okay? Have you ever heard me use this? If you think I'm just saying this because it's the Patriots, or that this was used against, have you ever heard me go after the Chiefs in a serious manner, that they have been playing in the division against teams that have been dog shit since Mahomes has arrived? The only time I brought that up was as sarcasm or as a counterpoint when people go after the Patriots. I say, well, Chiefs aren't exactly tearing it up in the AFC West. It's like, oh, that's a juggernaut, isn't it? But I don't use it because the Chiefs still beat teams that they play. The Chiefs were still they were beating up on the Raiders and they were beating up on the Broncos and sometimes the Chargers were okay and they were still kicking their ass. But they were beating teams in the NFC. They were beating teams, other good teams, number one division teams, and then they would go to the playoffs. They'd win those games. What are you talking about? Who cares? But notice no one ever talked about that. You don't have Stephen A. Smith. You don't have all these people on TV talking about the AFC West. This is the first time the AFC West had some decent pushback. And how long? How long's it been? I mean, it's yeah, man. How good were we in early 2019? It looked like we were going to make another run, right? I remember the episode. I did a halftime. I went live at halftime of the Pittsburgh game, week 1. It was our trophy game, and we were all just like, "This, we're gonna repeat." And look how that ended. We went from that to getting embarrassed against Tennessee. That's what happened. You're not who you are over a season. It just doesn't work like that. Remember Tom Brady's Bucks getting completely destroyed by the Saints twice? Twice in 1 year got destroyed. It wasn't even close. But the Bucks got hot towards the end there. They were playing well. They were clicking. Things were working. Things were making sense now. And what happens? Now they take out the Saints. Now they take out the Packers. Now they take out the Chiefs. But they lost to the Chiefs that year. What happened? But I thought strength of schedule meant something. Strength of schedule says that they should have lost to the Chiefs again in the Super Bowl. Strength of schedule says they should have lost to the Saints and never got to the Super Bowl. They went for it on 4th and 1 in no man's land. Yeah. I'd say in this early in the game, you go ahead and punt that ball. You try to pin them inside the 10. What's people's aversion to playing defense? I don't get this. If it was in the second half, I'd probably understand it a bit more, but not right now. There's a lot of game left. Just play the position game. Interesting. Chris Sims has an MVP vote. Are you serious? Are you serious? Hell has frozen over. Hey Vaughn, Ace says, hey Vaughn, did you know Brady at 43 and 44 had a higher approximate value than age 28, 29, 30 Mahomes? You talking about on PFR? The approximate value? Did I know that? No. I knew it was high. But Brady's 2020 and 21 seasons were incredible. 21 was absurd. He should have been MVP, but the record affects you, you know. Aaron Rodgers had the better record. Yeah, Minuteman. In 2018, we started out bad. It was rough. I remember losing to the Lions and losing to the Jaguars, and that was embarrassing. And then we got that win against the Chiefs, and that kind of seemed promising that there was something there, you know. And then got that win against the Packers, and that it was like, maybe there is something here. It's just you're only what you are in the last 4 weeks. That's it. That's the bottom line. I just don't like giving Seattle the ball in the 40 there. That's 20 yards away from potential field goal range. I don't like it. I mean, if you're going to go for it on fourth down, then no man's land there is reasonable. But it's about when you do it. You're only down by 7. It's the second quarter. It's not even halfway through the second quarter. Just punt the ball. Just play the positional game. Now Seattle's on their own, on the 49ers 40. It's stupid. Dummies. Thank you guys. If you haven't yet, please click the like button. I'd appreciate it. If you'd like to send a super chat, the link is pinned to the top of the chat there to do that. And if you'd like to join on Patreon, just go to patreon.com/VonAllenSports and you can sign up there. Katie, what's going on? How's your husband? Where is he? What's he doing? Is he playing video games right now? Tell him to get his ass on here. Tell him I said, America! Oh, yeah! Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is. What's up, James? There goes Darnold. First down. That was a man run right there. That was a man run. Manly run. Oh, that was gay. I won't do that again. Sorry about that, guys. You guys ever thought about what a weird thing it is to be sitting here talking to a camera just for 3 hours? Just randomly talking into a camera, just thinking of things to say, just off the top of my head. Kind of a weird job, isn't it? Strange job. It's like, I'm just going to talk to nobody. I'm looking at myself right now. It's like, hi, Aaron. How you doing? What do you think about this? Well, I think the 49ers aren't playing that well right now, Aaron. Yeah? The other Aaron says, hey, Seattle looks pretty good, don't they? Yeah, I might have to give them credit. So you got this conflict going in the brain. It's like, imagine how much weirder it'd be if there was no comments, no chat. That would be even stranger. Thank you, Minuteman. I enjoy it too. I like talking. I like doing this. I love talking football with you guys. And it's so much easier to get my opinions out than having to type everything and post it in segments and comments and things, because your point doesn't get across the same way. It doesn't have the same impact in the way you want to say them. So Mina Kimes has a vote. DEI Kimes has a vote. That's frightening, guys. Hey, Katie. Yeah. Yeah, James speaks very well. Very well. Thank you, sir. Representing today. It's a big day today, a good day today. Oh, thank you, Nefertiti. I appreciate it. Minute Man, that's really nice to say. Thank you. That means a lot to me, honestly. They're gonna have to do something here. They cannot go down 14-0. But they're just not playing good enough right now to go down 14-0. Since when did your name have a 1014 at the end of it, Nefertiti? Nefertiti says talking in front of the camera is more difficult than it looks. Well, it depends on if you get nervous. If you're nervous or uncomfortable, then it could be a nightmare. So I've had guests come on. You guys have seen where, people, callers and stuff, and you can see people who are so nervous they can't articulate their thoughts and stuff. And then you see people who just are able to just talk and so that helps in a big way. But that can only get you so far. Then you've got to be able to continue to have things to say and continue to think of things off the top of your head that make sense. And you want to be as accurate as possible. And you don't want to contradict yourself either. So you got to remember these things and remember what you said. And it's a strange thing. Luckily for me, I've always been good, or I've never gotten nervous public speaking. I've always been the type, even as a kid, I would be the one in class who talks out loud, who volunteers. As some teacher says, hey, someone volunteered to come up to the board and do something, I'd be like, just because I wanted to do it. I didn't want to, I was getting bored. I'm like, this sucks. Let me do it. I've always been that type of person. And, doing music, performing on stage and things like that. So even from the first time I did this show, the very first time, I wasn't nervous at all. But then I see some people that they're terrified. And I understand. But people, they watch these things and they think, they think it's easy, and then they try it and then they realize it's, but there are certain people that I know that would be good at this, that I think would be fine. So. That was a great breakup just now. Okay, another field goal attempt. See if he makes it this time. Boom. He got it this time. Okay. He wasn't going to miss two. Ten nothing. 49ers. They better be happy with that. Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, Nefertiti. Yeah, I remember I left you on camera by yourself, and because I need to go to the restroom. It was during a playoff game, and it was one of Brady's playoff games, and I said, okay, I need you to just talk, so we don't lose any viewers. A lot of people have like ADD, and if you go to the bathroom or something, they'll just leave. And so I said, okay, so you stay here and you talk, and I'm gonna go. And I was completely like fine. I thought, okay, Milena's talking about something, and I'll just come back. And I come back, and she didn't say anything. Like, just I think she might have said something like, "How are you guys doing?" or something like that. I don't remember. But when I'm there, she would talk. So when I'm sitting on camera with her, then she would just have all these things to say, right? But the moment I left and she's just alone by herself, it's like, oh shit, everyone's looking at me. What, it just changed. Things change, right? So it's funny how it is. But Phil Williamson says, what's worse, Nefertiti? What's worse, being on camera or being in the dungeon? Well, I actually think I can answer that for her. She's become acclimated to her dungeon. Ever since I installed Wi-Fi in the basement, ever since I've given her proper plumbing, and I built a little kitty door so the cats can go down there and so she can have some interaction with another living creature, other than the rats and the bugs, of course. I think she's probably still more afraid to be by herself on camera. So, we take this joke too far. Some people are going to log in here and think we're serious one day. It's like, maybe he really does have her in the dungeon. Speaking of dungeon, you think you can unlock your straitjacket and bring me a new Coke? This one's gone a little flat. Patriots activate Will and Milton. Are you serious? That's nice. Very nice. People are going to try to break you out. What's with that 1014? I don't remember that being part of your name. People write fan fiction about the dungeon, the Von Allen dungeon. Oh yeah. So me and Milena, we watched a movie last night called Blast from the Past, and it's about this couple in the 1960s who go under. They built an underground bunker, and they go down there because they think, the Cuban Missile Crisis is going to happen. There's going to be nuclear war, but a plane hits their house, and they think that was the bomb. So they stay down there 35 years until it's safe to come back up because of the nuclear fallout. Well, during that time, they have a baby, and that baby is raised underground. And then when he becomes a man and he comes out into the real world, it's like he's like an alien, Milena can relate to that because I've kept her away from the sun for so long. And so she would never poison the Coke because she has what's that condition where you fall in love with your captor, like, that kind of thing, where you've been kidnapped for so long that you start to like have feelings for the person who kidnapped you? There's a term for that, but I can't remember what it is. Hi.
Oh, getting used to shit.
That was really quick.
Yeah,
Good job.
I climbed.
Last time you had trouble unlocking that straitjacket. So, thank you. How are the cats doing?
Chasing the mice.
Okay, thank you. Stockholm Syndrome. That's it. Stockholm Syndrome. Thank you. Thank you. That's it. All right, come on, 49ers. Let's get something going here. There we go. There we go. Let's go. All right, let's get this going, baby. Let's get this going. Okay. Brock Purdy. You sure they got a Purdy mount. Hey there, boy. Hey there, boy. You got a Purdy mouth. Brock Purdy. He's so little. I wonder if we can start calling him Football Baby. What movie was it? It was called Blast from the Past. Had Christopher Walken, Alicia Silverstone, Brendan Fraser, Sissy Spacek, a lot of famous people in that movie. It's from 2001, I think, or 99, maybe 99. Something like that, somewhere around there. Does anybody throw the deep ball better than Drake May? You guys see what Cam Newton said about Drake May? He said Drake May is not a game changer. He shouldn't be MVP because he's not a game changer. Do you guys know that Drake May grew up idolizing Cam Newton? The thing about celebrities, you know, people who have actually accomplished something. Very few people would be starstruck. Basically, like if I were interviewing them, I might be a little nervous. And what happens is that your things from your childhood start to creep into your psyche, and even if on the surface you can't figure out why you're feeling this anxiety for some reason, you don't. Even like I said, even if on the surface you're like not nervous, like you're not feeling like you should be, there's something there. I wouldn't feel that way for any players that I like as an adult, but players that I liked when I was a kid, that might happen to me. So if I ever got to interview Warren Moon, there may be some anxiety issues there, and it's because this guy's picture was on my wall. This guy, I wore his jersey as a kid. I collected all of his cards. I watched every game. You know, and then when I see the Oilers logo and I see, you know, his name, Moon, and I see the number 1, all that, immediately it takes you back to being a kid. And then it's not about football anymore. It's more than that. It's just about that time frame. So it's a part of you. And having Warren Moon like talk crap about me would suck. Okay? Like, let's say that this channel was a huge channel, you know, and Warren Moon said that Von Allen Sports, the guy on Von Allen Sports, is not that good. He's just mediocre. He's not a game changer. He's not important to the media landscape. That would hurt. I'm telling you, that would suck. That would really suck. And yeah, that's what Cam just did to Drake. It's real nice because there's a better way to say that, right? I mean, if I'm aware that a guy looked up to me like that, and I need to critique them, because there's not, I mean, you still have to do that. I'm certainly going to be very careful about how I do it. So what that tells me is that Cam, number one, is completely oblivious to anything like that, to any concept like that. And two, I think it's motivated by self-interest. He sucked as our quarterback. He was the first quarterback replaced to replace Tom Brady. And it didn't go well. And that was with Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. The funny thing is, he's kind of contradicted himself, because he said that Drake is playing in the, Josh McDaniels system. So that's why he's playing okay. It's not because he's good or elite, or he's well, not elite, but he's good, or that's why he's playing well. Well, Cam, so did you. You played, and your head coach was Bill Belichick. So what's your excuse? What's your issue? It's like, it's very strange, very, very, very strange. But I think it's a self-interest thing. I've also noticed that the general media doesn't like Drake very much. They got something against him, and I can't pinpoint it yet. Field goal, good. Finally scored something. Damn. Took long enough. You met Alicia Silverstone? Yeah, yes. Man, she was popular back in the day. Minuteman says, Cam Newton to Drake May is what Montana was to Brady. Yep. Never meet your heroes. They will only disappoint you. Huh. How about this? They say never meet your heroes. How about never become friends with your heroes? So I became friends with my musical idol. So I became friends with, it would be like me becoming friends with Warren Moon. So, and then that having a falling out because of who you vote for. Seriously. An entire friendship just completely destroyed because of politics. So they say never meet heroes, never be friends with them. That's for sure. Because that doesn't work. Oh, Elva Courage, no doubt that probably will motivate Drake. But I'm just saying from a Cam's perspective, it's very strange. Like, it's a very strange thing to do, in my opinion. But Katie, that's a good point. Maybe your heroes should be people you know. So I like that. Exactly. But when we're kids, we don't know why we like people. We don't even know why. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, kids, they'll pick favorite teams based on something as simple as the color of the uniforms. They don't even, a lot of people don't even remember why they picked that team. They can't remember what the real reason was. So. Thank you, Nefertiti. I appreciate it. But we both know that you would dump me if it came between me and Ramses. Guys, you've never seen a cat more spoiled than Ramses. You guys, he owns Milena. Okay, he owns her. He runs her. It's funny. Boy can do no wrong. I get he's the only boy. I get it. But he can do no wrong. It's funny. It's hilarious. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Ramses the Great. James Johnson says, I think people don't like Drake because he plays for the Patriots. Not to mention, people still have PTSD from Brady and the Patriots dynasty being less than a decade ago. I'm certain there's a lot of that as well. That's true. Was there an Egyptian king more spoiled than Ramses? Well, he was the most successful, certainly. So, but did his father was Seti. Did his father spoil him? But the real one. But I know Ramses the cat. I mean, you guys know Ramses is the one that jumped through the green screen. He jumped through the green screen because he knew he could. Because he knew that there would be no consequences. That it's just whatever. I do what I want. He owns the place. Matthew Stafford. Mr. Staph infection, huh? They're going to try to give it to him. The media wants to give it to him. It's a Lifetime Achievement Award or something like that. Whatever. As long as we get to the Super Bowl, I don't really care. But yeah, Steve Young, I wasn't a fan of his playing style. I liked him. Like I didn't have anything against Steve Young. It's just his playing style was not, I mean, like I said, my favorite player is Warren Moon. So what playing style do I like? I want to throw the ball, and I want to stand in the pocket and throw the ball, and that's what I like. And I'm still that way. Steve liked to run. He liked to run around. His game was very chaotic, and it was just like, what is happening? Steve Young looks like a pinball in a pinball machine. It's like he's running with the ball. It's like ding ding, like he's running into every player, bouncing off every player, just ping 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 ping, and that's Steve Young, and it just drove me out of my mind. I was like, what is he doing? I could just picture him, against the Cowboys, just running in the dirt. It's just ping, 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 ping. And it's crazy. And I'm not saying Steve couldn't throw. He could throw. I'm just saying that his tendency to to run around a lot just kind of threw me off a bit. It's weird. So I guess because the way he ran was so sloppy. It looked like it was tough, like hard to do. It looked like it hurt the way he would run. As where Randall Cunningham looked like a gazelle, right? So when Randall Cunningham was juking people and running through and stuff, it just looked like a highlight reel in slow motion, in real time. And it just worked. But when Steve did it, it just looked like a wounded animal trying to get away. It's like, it just kind of, yeah. And I don't know. But it certainly works for him. Dude has two of the best seasons of quarterback ever. I think like the top 10 best seasons by a quarterback, and I'm pretty sure Steve's got two of those. He would have two. That's pretty damn good, man. Yeah, Minuteman says maybe San Francisco would have more Super Bowls if Steve was more of a pocket passer. Well, he would also have played longer. He had way too many concussions. He was out a lot, and that was due to his running. So, well, I would say that's probably due to his running. I mean, can't be sure, but I'd say it's a good bet. It's a good bet that his concussion issues were from running around. Okay, so what's going on with the Bucks? Are they really going to get into the playoffs at 8-9 again? So what happens? If the Lions beat the Falcons, it changes the outcome, something like that. Buccaneers will win the NFC South if the Falcons lose. That's sad. An 8-9 team is going to win. Going to get a playoff spot. It's going to be 2022 all over again. I think everyone in that division should be disqualified from the playoffs. There you go. If you have a losing record, you're disqualified. I don't care about your division. Alva Courage says, do they want to give it to him because he plays in LA, the largest football market? Well, no. Well, kind of. It's there's some politics involved a lot. Most of the media are leftist, and Matthew Stafford is saying all the right leftist stuff. He does play for the Rams, and this is a leftist market. So that certainly helps. There's a bias there. But that may be part of it. Another thing would be they're not necessarily voting for Matthew, they're voting against Drake. So, like in 2007, Brady should have been the unanimous MVP. He should have had 50 votes in the first unanimous MVP. He ended up being the first anyway in 2010, but should have been in 2007. And one guy voted for Favre, and so you get a lot of this is an anti-Boston thing. So you got that as a factor. But we can kind of maybe guess if they stayed consistent. We can look at past MVPs, I guess, and kind of make an educated guess on what they might do. Although I think every year should be its own thing and its own unique. You shouldn't say, "Oh, this happened last time, so it will happen." It's kind of a strange thing to do. They do that with the Hall of Fame too. It's like, "Oh, well, so and so got in and he's not any good, so we're going to let this guy in too." It's like, no, that was a mistake. It doesn't mean you should just keep doing that. Like, but people, I see people make this argument that, oh, well, it happened like that, but they do favor record. And if they stay consistent in that, where record really means something, which it has in the past, and Drake beats the Dolphins, and Denver loses, we get the number 1 seed, which Denver's not going to lose probably, but we got the number 1 seed. We can still get the number 1 seed, right? Then Drake probably wins it if they stay consistent and there's not enough of that bias I'm talking about. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be close. So, did Randy Moss get any votes? No. It was 49 for Brady and it was 1 for Favre. That was the score. Put the baby to bed. No, the baby needs to listen to Von Allen Sports. In fact, you should have been putting replays of my live show against your stomach when the baby was in. And it's like, you ever heard, you should play a baby classical music if you want them to be like smart, really high IQ. Well, you should play them Von Allen Sports if you want them to like really know football. It's like, that's just play me, So the baby, at least, okay, so if you put the baby to bed, turn on the show like on an iPhone or an iPad or something for the baby to listen to. So that would be my recommendation. That would be my medical recommendation. It's true. I got it checked out. 4 out of 5 baby psychologists recommend that you should play Von Allen Sports for babies. The 5th one I had shot, so his opinion doesn't matter. So just take the opinion of the 4. So. What is my thoughts about the MVP award being mostly a quarterback award? I think it's unavoidable. Because even if a running back or a wide receiver or somebody or a defensive player has an amazing year, they just can't lead the team in this era the way they used to be able to. There was a time where Lawrence Taylor is the leader of your defense and it translates to Super Bowls. It doesn't even matter who your quarterback is. That time is gone. You had J.J. Watt, who had 2 MVP caliber years in a row. It was just off the charts. And the Texans' record sucked. So he just couldn't impact the team enough. And you used to have a time where a good running back was the key to the team. Walter Payton, could take you there, and Jim Brown could take you there. That's much earlier, but you could ride a Barry Sanders. You could ride a running back all the way. Sometimes. Now you can't do that. Running backs are committee backs now. It's Patriots kind of honestly, the Patriots probably ruined the running back, the main running back kind of guy. They probably killed that because people saw how efficient it was to have a committee of running backs. No wide receiver is ever going to win it. Again, like in this era, that's not going to happen. There's just isn't any opportunity for another position to compete with it. You know, I mean, Priest Holmes got robbed of an MVP back in 2003. They gave it to Peyton Manning. So it was already starting then. He was clearly the best player that year. And it depends on the rationale of the voters each year. It's so hard to determine what they're thinking and what their what their criteria is. It's weird. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like there's times where I thought other players deserved it, but now it seems almost impossible to make an argument for anybody that's not a quarterback. It's just so essential to your team's success now. And if we treated MVP the true sense of the word, Tom Brady would have been MVP every year. It doesn't matter about record, didn't matter about stats, and it most valuable player doesn't mean most valuable player. Okay? If most valuable player meant what it sounds like it means, then Michael Jordan is always MVP. Tom Brady is always MVP, and so on, right? It basically means best statistical player that season. That's what it means. But you know that's also what All Pro is for. So, you know, the running backs and the wide receivers and all that, we look at All Pros for the Hall of Fame. Look at All Pros. So, getting an All Pro is still going to go on your resume. It's going to look great, you know. So for your Hall of Fame case, the MVP, yeah, it looks good, but the All Pros look really nice too, especially if you're a running back or something. Come on, guys, get this going. This is lame. What is San Francisco doing? Von Allen Pediatrics, that's right. That's right. Yeah, baby VAS. We'll edit all the cuss words out. That's right. She can still hear me? Cool. And you played me while she was in your stomach, right? So you put the phone up against well, I wouldn't recommend that. You probably, yeah, don't put phones up against your stomach, but the speaker, yeah, so she can hear me talking. That's good. Von Allen Pediatrics. We've got a new division, guys. They gave Manning 3 MVPs just because his last name was Manning. Well, there is some truth to some of that, I have to say. We have a super chat. Super chat alert from Elf of Courage. It's a $5 super chat. He says, if you ask me, the only ones who should have an MVP vote are the current and former players who won the MVP. Interesting. Problem is that, I mean, that would be cool, but it's done by the Associated Press, which sucks. Which is why it's always the voters are people in the media. But I agree with you. I also think Hall of Fame should be done differently. Should be structured differently. But yeah. Do I think that Adrian Peterson will be the last non-quarterback MVP? James Johnson says, probably. Yeah. Yeah, probably. What was that, 08? 08 that he did that? That he broke all those records? Damn, he was good. Damn, he was good. Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson. Sorry, guys. You're right. It was 2012. All the years are merging together. The further we get away from them. John says, I kind of feel like the MVP shouldn't be decided until after the Super Bowl. Well, that's how we do our MVP, the VAS quarterback MVP. It is not done. It is not decided. Even the playoffs factor in. Now, just winning the Super Bowl, if you're the quarterback who wins the Super Bowl in our system, does not mean you're going to be MVP. Because you could be a quarterback, you could go to the Super Bowl, and if you play like crap, that's actually going to hurt you. That's gonna take you back. Well, perfect example. So 2021, Tom Brady won our MVP, and he didn't even make it to the Super Bowl. But his stats were so overwhelming that even though Matthew staph infection and Joe Burrow had reached the Super Bowl that year, and they had reached the championship game, and so had Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes ended up being second in our system. So neither Super Bowl quarterback was even top two. But it does matter. The playoffs should matter. You know what, James? If playoffs mattered, then that would actually open up a chance for other positions. So let's say that, okay, so I said no 3, Priest Holmes got robbed, right? And now if you were using it for the playoffs too, let's say that history is different. Let's say that the Kansas City Chiefs go on to the Super Bowl in 03. Then you would have to give it to Priest Holmes, right? So that would be That would actually be a way to make that happen. Because if the quarterbacks got eliminated. So, for example, let's say the contenders right now are 2 quarterbacks and a running back. And those 2 quarterbacks get put out in the first round. They play like garbage. But the running back, he's still getting his yards. He's still busting out 100-yard games in the wild card division or whatever it is. Then he's going to the AFC Championship. Then he's all the way in the Super Bowl, and he's still throwing up yards. Even he doesn't even win the Super Bowl, but he's putting those yards out there. He's got to be the guy, right? So wow, guys, I'm sorry, but this game sucks. It's sloppy. Sloppy play calling. Like, these quarterbacks can't read the line. They can't. It's just. We also have a good game tomorrow night, or a matchup that means something. So it's battle for the last playoff spot between the Ravens and Steelers. Whoever wins that game wins the AFC North, and thus are in the playoffs. Not the first time we've seen that happen between those two. For some reason, I don't know. It's weird, guys. So the Steelers somehow lost to the Browns last week. And all they had to do was beat the Browns in order to win the division. They just had to beat the Browns. Well, strength of schedule says that they should have won, right? How come they didn't win? How come they couldn't beat the Browns? Like, what happened there? I have been assured that strength of schedule is important. That if you've got an easy schedule, of course you're going to win those games. It's a given, right? It's a given. So what went wrong for the Steelers? Just strange, isn't it? Very strange. It's a mystery. Perhaps we'll find out one day. Katie says she's pretty sure James played me loud enough to hear across the house. But yeah, when I was pregnant with her, he played you often enough for her to be familiar with your voice. That's nice. So is she going to call me Uncle Vaughn? And if you have a son, you're going to name him after me? Let's go. That's awesome. You guys are awesome. I'm very happy for you. Basically, yeah, Elf. It's a best position player award. I mean that's really yeah, it's just how it is now. Last week, the 49ers defense disappeared. This week, the 49ers offense disappeared. They don't know who they are. Baba Pumpkin says, I was assured strength of schedule was important by a guy who said strength of schedule wasn't important. Huh. Interesting. Nice. Nice stop. Great play. Metcalf's suspension was ill-timed, to say the least. If you can't beat the Browns with it, even without Metcalf, then because you should have won, right? Strength of schedule says that you should have won. So Ace says Mahomes this season faced a weak schedule of 4-6-7, ouch, and went 6-8. So by their logic, if strength of schedule matters, that means Mahomes sucks. It does. Exactly. It means that he is absolutely atrocious, because if it means Drake May means nothing, Okay? Winning 14 games means nothing because it was easy schedule. Then Mahomes is just downright atrocious. That makes him one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. We're just going by their own system, right? That's how it's done, correct? Okay. Raz Daz Pizzazz, what's up? Says, I'm in Bizarro World. I just woke up from a coma. How is Sam Darnold the number one seed and the greatest thrower of the football fighting for a playoff spot? I'm assuming you're talking about Aaron Rodgers? Yeah. How long have you been in a coma? Because if you've been in a coma since like, I don't know, 2020, 2019, I got a lot of information for you. A lot of crazy stuff. Papa Pumpkin says they aren't who they thought they were. Hey, why didn't you just keep the name Gord King and just like add like a year or something? Why'd you change it completely? That's not a criticism. It's more of a curiosity. I don't know how to refer to you anymore. I don't know if to call you Gord. I don't know if to call you Daniel. I don't know if I should call you Papa Pumpkin. I'm not sure. Okay. Katie said, maybe she'll call you that. No promises on naming a son, though. Heaven knows James has enough names on the list of possible candidates. I don't think so, James. I don't think so. Vaughn Johnson. That sounds pretty cool. Rhymes with Don Johnson. You can't beat that, right? Baba Pumpkin says, that was Dan Orlovsky, by the way, in 2022. Is that who you're talking about? I thought you were talking about somebody you were arguing with on X. In 2022, Dan Orlovsky said strength of schedule wasn't important. Now he's saying it is. Yeah, because Stafford's his guy, right? They were teammates together in Detroit. The Chiefs only count strength of Swift. Ouch. Yeah, if you like sixes. You've been in a coma for 3 years? What does that mean? Like you've not been watching football for 3 years? Boom, 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 boom. Oh, shit. You know what? Raz Daz Paz might not be joking. Just pulled up their channel. They haven't posted in 4 years. Their last video was 4 years ago. Interesting. It's like video game stuff. Shit, if they're serious, that I've got a lot of questions. Come on, somebody do something. This is lame. This is just let's go. Play some football. Jesus. Elvin Courage says, why should Dan Orlovsky be talking about strength of schedule when he lost all of his games? That's right. Dan Orlovsky, guys, went 0-16. What does he know about anything? It's like, shut up. Yes. So Sam Darnold somehow is on the Seahawks, and this is 2 years in a row that his team has won 13 games. But he still sucks. Yeah, Belichick coaches college football, if you want to call it that. It's like, he's dating a 23-year-old or 24-year-old girl. Yeah. So Tom Brady is improving at commentating. He although he didn't start 3 years ago, did he? No. But he sucked at first. It's getting better though. It's getting better. Let's see. Oh, Trump's president again. Let's see. What else happened? Yeah. There's a lot of different things going on. So what started your coma? What happened? Car accident? Something like that? If strength of schedule is the end all be all, why did the Rams get pounded by the 7-9 Falcons, who are from the NFC South's weakest division? Exactly. Because guess what, Ace? Do you know what the Falcons have been doing the last 4 weeks? Playing good football. It's almost as if someone's right about that. It's almost as if someone has that figured out. And it's just common sense, honestly. Yeah. Christine Sims, Dan Orlovsky, and DEI Kimes should not have a vote. I'm sorry, but that's insane. Papa Pumpkin, how's Mozart doing? Is he okay? Mozart the cat, for you guys who don't know who Mozart is. The Chiefs dynasty puts you in a coma? Well, it's over now. So it's the refs rep them pretty good this year. So they rep them normal, I should say, as any other team. And they couldn't win a game. This is pathetic. Why was Sam Darnold falling like he got shot? Like, what was that? Look at this. This is weird. Oh! Wow. Sam Darnold. I'm Sam Darnold. People think I'm good now. What are you bowing up for, dude? You're losing to Sam Darnold at home in prime time. You married into a Southeast Asian family, not an Asian family. Orient, the Orient. I got your picture. Just take your picture. They just gave up a first down like a bunch of idiots. See? He shouldn't have been celebrating a while ago. Yeah, John Lynch, maybe you should be down there playing. You cannot let the Seahawks be the number 1 seed. That is just not cool. That's not good. I don't like that. Let's be specific with our geography. Exactly. It matters. It freaking matters. Telling you. Have I seen the Elway Netflix documentary? No, I haven't. Is it any good? I don't have Netflix. Ever since they started promoting children in creepy ways, I canceled my account. Get them! Oh my God. Dude, they were 10... No, more. They were 15 yards off of the line of scrimmage on that play. Yeah, your defense sucks right now, dude. This is embarrassing. You're going to ruin my pick. I'm supposed to look brilliant here. Tatum buffoon. Oh, a 49er that's injured. I've never heard of that before. If anybody ever needed a bye week, it was these idiots. And they don't want it. There's no team that is more injured than the 49ers every year. And they don't want a bye week, apparently. Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts out there. I'm Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts. I don't know what's happening. This is... Trust Kyle Shanahan? Yeah, I don't trust him in the biggest moments. See, what he is he's good enough to get there, to get somewhere, like to get far. But when it really matters, the most important moment, that's when he collapses. That's what makes it even more infuriating. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan is a bridesmaid. Yeah, I'd say so. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. He's just there for somebody else to win a Super Bowl on. It's like, hey, it's somebody's got to beat somebody in the Super Bowl. Might as well be the 49ers, right? They're at least going to get another field goal here. That wasn't a flag. Oh my God, that I need this replay. Give me the replay. One, two, three, four, five. 5 yards. He let go after 5 yards. He let go after 5 yards. He can't count. Okay, well, that's it then. So. Unless they get a turnover, keep them out of the end zone. But I don't know. Who's to say another flag doesn't get thrown? Tatum Buffoon is back there out in the field again, just so he can get re-injured. Great, into the third quarter, more advertising. Can't even just keep the thing going. At least they're playing Phil Collins. That's good. Oh shit! I missed the super chat. Yeah, I've got a Rumble bot now, guys. So if you're on Rumble and you subscribe, I've got a little robot that says thank you. So Gord King, the Rumble bot says thanks for the follow. Thank you for following me. Yeah, that's my bot actually. That's not so you're not being hacked or anything. That's supposed to happen. Rumble bot. Ha ha ha! Yes. Gord King sends a $2 super chat. He says the Chiefs are 6-10. Taylor Swift is a 6 out of 10. Coincidence? I think not. So check this out. Yeah, it's. Wait a second. What? Netflix. Wait, Raz Daz wants Sam Darnold to carve up the 49ers. You have something against the 49ers? Who's your team? Are you a Cowboys fan or something? Okay. Yeah, I like 80s cartoons too, Elf. It's I like watching. You watch He-Man and stuff. Like you ever rewatch that? It's good stuff, man. You have a 10 terabyte hard drive as your operating system drive, Phil? What kind of computer? One stop. One stop is all you need. Just make them kick. Come on. Otherwise, this is over. I'm seeing ghosts. Wrap up, you idiot. You got lucky that he fell down. Most tight ends would have ran through that tackle. Okay, or that hit. Why don't people wrap up anymore? Stop throwing your body like a missile. You're not big enough to do that, dude. You got lucky that it tripped him up. But normally that wouldn't work. Oh, external drive. Yeah, I got a lot of those. I thought you were saying that you had a 10 terabyte internal drive what your software is running off of. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's nice. This is crazy. All right. Yeah. So what are we at now? 13-3. My favorite type of movies, hands down. Okay? Hands down. My number one favorite type of movie is 1950s and 60s sword and sandal movies or religious epics. Those are my number ones. My next favorite, right after that, is any movie dealing with time travel, paradoxes, teleportation, or parallel universes. So any of those, I eat that up. I love that. So those are my two favorite types of movies. Get me one of those and put one of those on the screen. I'll be like, let's go. Let's go. Especially the old sword and sandal movies. Ah, Back to the Future is so good. I love Back to the Future. All of them. All three. This may be a weird take to you guys, but I find time travel frightening. And it's so frightening and so crazy that I'm addicted to it. It's like I'm addicted to thinking about it and observing, the concepts and reading about it. It's the scariest thing to me. But at the same time, it's the most wonderful thing. It's very strange. You think Back to the Future is a comedy? You think it's an adventure? You think it's a positive movie? No, that's a serious movie. Really think about it. Think about what happens. Think about the overall story. It's not what it appears to be. It's seriously flawed people trying to recreate their life and trying to fix their life through means of coercion and other events happening. And then one thing changes and it all gets worse. And then you see your future and you find out the future may be worse than you ever could imagine. Back to the Future is a serious movie, man. You just got to, strip away the happy-go-lucky aspect to it. Run, Brock, run! I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid and they looked at turned the flashlight on the in the cemetery on the gravestone and it said he died. I don't know, man. That shit was weird. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then when he explained on the board the alternate 1985, yeah, I was like, as a kid, that opened my mind up. That opened like everything up. And then my dad said, you got to watch this movie called The Final Countdown. It's about this battleship that gets sent back in time during World War II. I was like, okay, I'm sold. Time travel is awesome. I loved it. Just became an addict of time travel. Okay, 49ers are finally moving the ball. They can break through. This is the fourth quarter, which we know defenses start to get tired. The thing about stop it. Get back to the huddle, you idiot. Certain positions that people don't appreciate is like offensive line or defensive back. These guys don't get traded out. So it's for the defense, for example, the defensive backs, they are out there. Wide receivers they come and go. The defensive backs pretty much there. And it's one of the hardest jobs in football. It's probably physically the most strenuous. But I think it's underappreciated, honestly. Nice. But yeah, these defensive guys, they get worn out. And the offense just has their way with them. Actually, that throw looked a little high to me, Troy, but okay. It was a completion. That's all that matters. That's a bit high. That throw was a bit high. But it worked. That's all that matters. Oh, I love Source Code. I love Source Code. I love that movie. Great movie. There is a pet peeve I have about time travel movies. I'll tell you guys in a second here. Oh my God, you idiot! Doesn't matter if it was tipped. McCaffrey had his hands on it. That's all that matters. I don't want to hear anything else. That was McCaffrey. You got to catch that. That was... God. The defense just got off the field finally. It's like... And now you're giving Seattle a rest. That's nice. You know, it's like... Maybe if you could have got a few more plays and then you punch it into the end zone, that would have been perfect. But, yeah. Great. Great. Awesome. If only you had Nick Bosa out there helping out on defense. That'd been good. Where's he at? Where's Fred Warner at? What's going on with those guys, huh? Oh yeah, that's right. They're injured. That's it. They're gonna close this out, guys. Just think, guys, one of these teams would have to visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 8-9 or the Carolina Panthers 8-9, based off of the idiotic system. That one of these teams would have to go there if they ended up playing each other at some point. Isn't that nice? All right. Well, whatever. That's not saying much since Seattle's not exactly got a rich history of quarterbacking, right? It's, holding. No flag. No flag for holding. All right. Those 49ers have to stop him here. Looper? Yeah. Looper is Looper, I have mixed feelings about Looper. I'll just say it that way. It's stop them. Let's go. You're playing off the. What is going on with these defenses? This is happening every week. Doesn't even. Do they not know where the first down line is? Oh, look, another 49ers injured. Shocking. Now another commercial break. Yay. Shit, we might as well just be talking about movies. This is ridiculous. Oh, man, if I was a 49ers fan, I would be so infuriated right now. Like, just much worse than I already am. They're just playing bad. I don't know what their deal is right now. It's like this sloppy, man. Yeah, so what I was saying about time travel movies, I have a pet peeve, is a lot of times the writer wants to write a good time travel movie. The problem is that he misses thinking from the perspective of the time frame. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're writing a movie where a guy goes back in time to the 1930s, the early 30s, and he walks into a cafe and he sees two people talking about that chancellor in Germany, Adolf Hitler. And they're talking about how he's such a good guy and doing a good job. I'm sorry, I had that backwards. Let's say that the people in the cafe are talking bad about how evil he is. Okay? And all these things, right? The writer would have screwed up there because there was a time where the world thought that Adolf Hitler was doing a good job for Germany. So things switch. But the writer used his own knowledge of the past and put his bias in there, assuming that it was always that way. So they forget to alter that. You know, this actually happened in real life in some cases with the government documents and things. But that always bothered me is when I would see the writer forget to put themselves in the time completely with the opinions and viewpoints of those people at that moment. And then you see their biases seep in and take hold of that. That annoys me. I don't see it very often, but I do. It's just, you would just think that people would handle that better. It seems obvious, but that bugs me a lot. I also don't like movies that can't wrap it up. Everyone is capable of writing a story, a good story, up until the end. The end is the difference between a real writer and a wannabe. If you can't wrap it up, if you can't tie it together, then you've done nothing. You've done nothing any person, regular person, can do. And that annoys me, is not making things make sense. Because that's the key. That's the whole point right there. If you send me through a movie where everything is just so amazing all the way through it, and then the ending, just the credits roll, and I'm supposed to like come to my own conclusion or whatever, I'm like, I didn't sit here for 2 hours and pay money to come up to with my own conclusion, you asshole. Tell me what happened. I want to know what happened. What, you couldn't figure it out? You couldn't? No, that's a cop-out. That pisses me off, actually. I don't think so. Because that means I could have written it. I could just sit down and write that crap. I could tell a good story as long as I don't have to wrap it all up. If I don't have to connect the dots at the end and make it make sense, yeah, I could bust out stories all day long. I could do 2 a day. You know? Any moron could do that. But I'm the smartest moron, I'll tell you that much. It's like being the smartest guy with Down syndrome, you know? Of the morons, I'm definitely probably the most talented. I'll tell you that. Elvin Courage says a $5 super chat. He says 2 points about time travel. Point 1. The position of the planet in its revolution around the sun is different each second. That's correct. 2. Given the speed of the planet's rotation, what? Okay, well, this game's probably over now. So they get a field goal, that's it. Not with the way the 49ers are playing. This game sucked. But I've enjoyed talking with you guys. This has been fun. You know what game sucks? When we're like talking about something completely different. I think I've seen one Harry Potter movie. I saw the first one, I think, but I fell asleep. I remember him living and he was like an adopted kid in someone's house, and the stepfather or whatever, foster father, kept yelling at him all the time. And his foster brother was like this spoiled brat. And I remember a double-decker bus, and I think there was a wall at a train station where they run through it and it transports them to Hogwarts. I remember all that, but I can't tell you how it ended. My God. Matthew Stafford out here looking like Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden. What is this crap? Okay. So, okay, now we got the rest of Courage. He says, given the speed of the planet's rotation, if you were to appear in a fixed point in time, you'd be forced backwards by the planet's rotation speed, according to Newton's third law. Yeah, and you know, that's something that you really can't even get into in a movie because you only have so much time. No pun intended. In a 2-hour film to address everything, and unless the movie itself was about that. You could address something like that in a TV series, though, or a pre-planned sequel of movies that were where you have, 3 movies to flesh out everything. So you could do it that way. Goblet of Fire. You recommend I should watch that one? Okay, we'll check it out. Nefertiti, you hear that? Write that down. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Israel says we should watch that. Well, I didn't watch Harry Potter because I thought it was for children. Like I said, I was only watching it because my niece and nephew were watching it. They were spending the night at our house and they wanted to see it. But this is ridiculous. It's not that Seattle hasn't even been. They haven't been playing like excellent football or anything. This is a winnable game. I mean, this is. I don't know. Musafa. Mufasa. Ooh. Do 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 do. All right. Sorry, the cat's water fountain was annoying me. When it gets low on water, it starts going. Yes, my cats have water fountains all over the house. These animals are spoiled, man. Even the squirrels have a water fountain. I'm not joking. There's a water fountain on the balcony, and the squirrels drink out of it. The problem is that they weren't getting proper drinking water, and so they would pee on the balcony sometimes. And because they weren't getting, he missed the field goal. What? So the 49ers, they just need a touchdown and a field goal. Well, that changes things a little bit, if they can get down the field. Okay. But the squirrels, when they pee, it would be red, and it would stain the balcony. We'd have to clean it a lot. It was really gross. We thought, hey, give them clean drinking water. That would help. And so we got them, gave them one of the cat's old water fountains because we were replacing. You got to replace the fountain every, like 2 years. And the whole fountain, not just the filters. But we started giving them clean, fresh drinking water, and now you can't even see it. Their pee is no longer red. It's clear. So that worked. That was, The only thing that pisses me off is they don't use their house. I put up a little house on the wall for them because I was trying to stop them from going to the other side because we have a neighbor. So I was trying to prevent that. It's not working. Run! Get as many plays before the 2-minute warning. Run, 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 run. Come on, that was pathetic. This is bad. This is what Tom Brady's talking about. Quarterbacks, they just don't have it. They don't. It's do 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 do. Let's go. Is everything rap? Everything? I mean, I don't mind it. It's fine, but it's like every commercial. Is that the only music that exists anymore? On X, one of the remarks are always, you don't know ball or whatever. It's like, so I don't agree with your opinion. I don't know football. That's nice. And if you're trying to defend your quarterback, then the go-to answer is they don't have an offensive line. That every time, no matter who it is, no matter what quarterback it is, if that's your favorite quarterback, you say he doesn't have an offensive line. So it's not his fault. Every time. Yeah, it sucks. Your offensive line, is not elite that day. Okay. Quarterback has to make that work somehow by understanding the play calling at the line and making decisions like maybe getting rid of it faster and things like that. You're going to have to do things to try to help the offensive line who is struggling if they are struggling. You're not getting completely absolved of it, dude. I'm sorry, but it's not going to work. They always say that about Mahomes in the Bucs Super Bowl. Well, who told Mahomes to run around like an idiot the whole time? He was trying to play hero ball. What if you had put Tom on the Chiefs that day? Let's say you switched them. If you put Tom on the Chiefs, he's going to throw from the pocket. He's going to take what the defense gives him. And the Bucs were giving Mahomes the short stuff. So, there you go. This game's over. Okay, Purdy's hurt. Call Tom. That's it. Another injured 49er. What do you know? Never seen that before. Oh, that was a pretty bad hit. Okay. That looks like that one Brady hit from Doomerville, I think it was. Okay, here's the rest of Alpha Courage's super chat. He says, the speed of the planet's rotation would force you backwards by the same speed as the planet's forward rotation because of Newton's third law. So the moment you appeared at a fixed point, you'd be hit with enough force to more than kill you. So they'd have to find a way around that. So that would be... so a writer's job would have to... if they want to address that part of it, they would have to figure out a way to do that and explain it. You know, so... Well, this was lame. All you needed to do was win this game, and you get the number 1 seed. You get a bye, and you get all of your little weird injury dudes. Get them a week off, and you couldn't do that. You couldn't beat Sam Darnold. Unbelievable. Oh, what time is it? It is. General Robert E. Lee says it is 7:46. Boom. Okay. Oh. All right, so I'll be here with you guys tomorrow night. I hope you can attend. Hopefully, the Steelers-Ravens game will be a little more interesting than this one, because this one sucked. But I did enjoy this session, nonetheless. I noticed a lot of people, they may not watch it live, but they watch it later, because my live shows end up with like 100, 200 views later on. So that's always good. I like that. But I do really enjoy when you guys are on the chat live. I like talking to you and interacting with you. So I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's meet back here tomorrow night, 5:15, and it'll be the last game of the season. And then we got playoffs next week. Can you believe it? Already in the playoffs. So, sounds good, right? Hopefully the Patriots can get it done, and the Denver Broncos can lose, which I don't think they will. But who cares? You beat who's in front of you, it doesn't matter. So it's whatever, right? So let's go.
Von Allen Sports.
This is Patriots linebacker, Super Bowl 49 champ, Darius Fleming, and you're watching Von Allen Sports, real and honest NFL analysis. Subscribe now. Join the empire. Von Allen Sports, let's go!
Von Allen Sports. Von Allen Sports.